from constantly buying new golf gloves?
All the time.
Does your golf glove get sweaty, crusty, or torn?
Over and over again.
Well, the innovative new Claw glove might be for you. The Claw will outlast, play cooler, and grip better than traditional leather gloves.
Side effects may include more greens hit, big payouts from your buddies, and in some cases, shooting your lowest round.
I have the power to lower my score with Claw Glove.
Go to clawglove.com and see if Claw Glove is right for you.
Having a corporate or charity golf event? Backswing Golf Events can supply your tournament with personable, professional golfers to entertain and fundraise on the golf course. They can accommodate any size group, whether it be 3 players to 500. They are your team. From range lessons, Beat the Pro, and Pro-Am style roaming, they're making lasting memories one swing at a time. So make sure to check out backswinggolfevents.com or call us direct at 661-316-3093 and book your pros now.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to On Par with Amanda. How are you guys today? We're going to bring in Mr. Biggs himself.
Hey,
Mr. Quick,
look at that.
Sir.
How are you?
Good. Well, I wanted to chat. So everybody, as we talked about earlier, I worked the waste management and last weekend, and it was quite the spectacle. I will say, I've worked at the waste management, but not in the capacity that I shared this year. And so that made it a really cool experience. But I just want to get down to the nitty gritty and talk about some of the really cool, I call them the all-star cast of this weekend, because there were a lot of faces we weren't familiar with, and now we are. And there were a lot of first time happenings, which I like. I like to see new faces at the top of the leaderboard. I like to see how they hold it together. And before we get into the winner and all of that, I have to talk about Theegala. I rooted for him so hard all weekend because he's so young and just full of energy, and to watch him walk from one hole to the other, just fired up, but trying to keep his composure, because I'm sure at that point he was shaking to death. And you have a crowd, 25,000 people inside the Coliseum on 16, all screaming and you're coming off birdies. Did you get to see any of Theegala, and what did you think about his game play, especially the Friday and Saturday? I feel like he made the biggest move, obviously.
That is one guy we're going to see a lot of his name in the future. I said that about John Rahm when John Rahm came first on the scene. He kind of reminds me of John Rahm with the energy and with his, passion. But he's also, a green, he's green on a PGA Tour. It really showed the immaturity, as far as, when it came down to the wire, and that's a part of the process, right?
Right.
When you have, especially when you make your debut, on a PGA Tour, and you're page one, you're getting focused,
Sure.
you get media attention, all that stuff. That's a lot, and people don't realize how much pressure that is, And when you're golfing Friday and Saturday, but when it comes to Sunday, that's Championship Sunday.
Agreed.
Those nerves, and if either you start off hot or you start off not, and there's no coming back sometimes.
Right. It is. It's so true. And momentum is everything in the golf world. But one thing that really stood out to me with him is I got a really cool experience on Saturday to be able to escort and help with escorting the players' families in the correct direction. He had a big following. He had a big entourage. So on Saturday, we were allowing immediate, mom and dad, spouse, or child through the tunnel. Everybody else we took to the PGA Tour box up in the Skybox 16. And his family was just incredible. They were so appreciative to be there. And it wasn't like, do you know who I am? It was, oh my gosh, we're allowed to go in. Like, we're allowed to be over here and stand over here. And I think that really showed me what kind of family structure the Gala had growing up. And he's so humble. He's so appreciative of the experience. He's like, I don't care what happens. I'm just so thankful to be here. And I just thought that was a really cool thing. I mean, I couldn't have rooted for someone harder going into Sunday. But like you said, we'll definitely see a lot more of him coming up, I'm sure. So congrats to the Gala.
It kind of brings me to that point where here's a family, and you could tell the upbringing by the reaction of the family. Like you just said, they're appreciative. They're like in awe about what they had rights to, or what they had access to, where you run into some of those families that it's expected. And you're like, oh boy, it's going to be a long day if I got to be around this all day. But with this player, the family was appreciative. Degala himself, certainly, everything I've heard him say, he feels lucky to be in a position that he's in. He doesn't take it for granted, and he certainly appreciates what he's got in front of him.
I'm really excited to see his career and what happens for the rest of this season. And coming off that, kind of the start of the season, and you're just pumped. You're ready to play well for a while. Have to talk about this playoff. So from a standpoint of working the Open, I was like, please, please, please don't let there be a playoff. The more playoff holes there are, the longer we are here. And it has been a very long week, but it was very exciting. I want to point out one thing. So a lot of times different tournaments, like the Masters versus the Open, they have different formats for a playoff. So most of the time you go back to 18. So there are tournaments where you play an entire 18 as your playoff. Those are rare. But this event, because of the masses of people and trying to relocate. So I was on security and I was on 18 green as they were finishing. And then we had all of our green shirt ambassadors out there. They continued. They were supposed to go 18 to 1 to 18. And then it switched and it was like, okay, 18 twice, then back to 17 and then 18. But they had to make a decision. We could not beat the crowd back to 17. Like you couldn't get your people in place, because everybody said, how cool would it be to have a playoff at 16? But the problem is you can't relocate everybody in a matter of, and the players can't sit cold for 30 minutes. So anyway, this Cantlay, I am a huge fan and I always have been. I think he's just a solid golfer. But to see Scotty Scheffler, it's so funny. On that third playoff hole, they both hit in, and Scotty's definitely got the harder putt. He's got a longer putt. He's putting first. And I just said, if he can make it, I guarantee Cantlay won't. It was the putt he had was a little uphill coming at the hole. If he could just drain it, I knew Cantlay had a tougher putt, even though it was shorter, and he was going to struggle with the pressure and that kind of thing. So it was very cool. Scheffler, first time PGA Tour winner.
It was only a matter of time.
So yeah, he plays so solid, and his smile is just so grateful and once again thankful. Never once the whole tournament was Scotty like, oh, I should be out here. I'm the best. He just is very, very down to earth.
I just got notification from our producer that Bill the Golf Father Cuevas is in the house, and he wants to join this conversation and see what let's you want.
For the last
this is your segment. It's uncensored, so it's up to you.
Uncensored. We'll bring him in for the last 2 minutes.
There you go.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, I was listening to you guys talk about this young golfer. I think that the biggest thing that it had on me when he came out and he went to his family. He got to see his mom and his dad. The way that they literally had to console him. He broke down. He was crying. And no, I didn't like that the cameras were still trying. You could see the boom coming out, like they want to hear everything. I mean, stuff like that, you need to back off a little bit. I mean, you could, video
he was
it.
Very emotional.
Yeah, but words at that point, they weren't even necessary. You could see the way his dad and his mom, and the way his mom's this little tiny thing, and he's crying and she's rubbing his head, and he lifts her up off the ground. You know what I mean? You can see the support. I don't know what they were saying, but you could see the love. And I think that was incredible. That might be the fuel that he needs to come back.
It goes back to what I just said about, you're going along, but Sunday comes around and man, oh man, it's pressure.
Yeah.
And he's young, he's green and on a PGA tour. I mean, people don't realize, I mean, I hear fans say all the time, well, it's golf, but it's just not all golf. These guys are making a living at it, and especially when you got a rookie like this that is in contention.
Yep. And he's not used to that pressure.
No.
Right.
This is a huge
at a waste management. I mean, this is
it's a big
I believe Waste Management could be another major. I mean, that's the kind of atmosphere it is.
It is, and it has the support behind it. Real quick before we go, I have to talk about this prize money breakdown, so the viewers really understand how crucial one putt can be. So Scotty Scheffler took almost 1.5 million, and second place dropped to. I mean, I say dropped; it's still a lot of money, but it's just under 900,000. Like it's
$600,000.
So a one putt difference in that playoff cost you pretty much double your salary.
An extra 50%.
So Thagala, Koepka, and Schauffele, they all tied for third, which basically you take third, fourth, and fifth place and break them. So they all made the same, and they made 434,000. I mean, still a great day. Most people don't even make that in multiple years.
Many years.
A lot of LPGA Tour events. The winner doesn't make that.
So I just want to remind the viewers at home that when you're watching this, it is a big difference between one putt or one shot. And, it's not just, a couple $1,000s. It's a lot of money. So with that, I'm super happy for Scotty Scheffler. We'll see much more of him as well, I'm sure. And it's exciting to see some new faces at the top of the leaderboard. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me on Par with Amanda. And for those at home, keep tuning in. And until next time, keep swinging for par.